Hi Paula, this is Will, DA. I'm going to see if I can show you a little bit about how to mess around with the Lilly that I did just now for you. Just very briefly, just to make sure you can see all the menus that I can see. When we go up to Window here, make sure you've got this one here checked, and the application bar options and tools all checked. That'll mean you can see all this stuff up here, this menu along here, and the layers menu. Right, I work on a Mac, so every time I say command, you read on a PC, read that as control. First thing I always do is make a copy of the background layer, just in case I need to get back. So with this selected, I'm going to do Command J or Control J on the PC there, and now we've got a copy layer. First thing I did is try to make this screen go to black. There's various ways you can do it. The way I tend to do it a lot because of the stuff I do is I go over here. Right click, you've got the dodge tool, the burn tool and the sponge tool. If you select the burn tool, that makes things darker. Make sure you've got the drop down here, make sure you've got the softest brush possible. Make sure on this one you're actually not burning highlights or midtones, but you need to burn the shadows. Now drop it down to about, I don't know, 25, 30%, something like that, whatever, something in that region there. Also make sure this box here is not checked, yeah, not checked. There we go. Right, what we need to do now, you can zoom in by the way by doing a control plus sign and zoom out by a control minus sign. And if you want to increase the size of this brush, you can use the close square bracket to increase it and the open square bracket to decrease it. What you need to do now is hold your left click and you can just burn along here, and that makes that go pretty dark. But the great thing about this tool is because you're burning the shadows, you can afford to overlap the edges a little bit here and it doesn't do too much damage, so you can get around here pretty quickly. And you can knock that down to black fairly smartish, so this will go right down without too much in the way of a problem. You can overlap, don't go bonkers as it will start to burn the light bits eventually, but you can go around here and you can get that down to black pretty quick. Right, rather than having you sit here half the night watch me get rid of this green, turn it to black, I have one I did earlier. There we go. You'll notice this bit's left in, and I think I removed it in the one I posted. So a quick way to do there is to grab the brush and paint. Essentially, so make it bigger. Paint with a black brush. The quickest way to get to your foreground and to black and your background to white, by the way, is just press D on the keyboard. Let's demonstrate to you if I make that a different colour. If I now press D on the keyboard, that sets my foreground to black, my background to white. X will just interpose them like that. So with black set. You want, again, super soft brush, set to normal blend mode, and you want the opacity in this case to be 100%, and everything else as you see here. You can just paint away. I'm going to zoom in a bit because I don't want to I'm going to reduce the size of the brush on here because I don't want to hit any of these bits. For this particular thing, it's not that crucial to get it exactly right, of course. And there we go, so that's all painted out. Now then, the one I showed you, I actually what did I do? I desaturated it in a complicated way. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you, just do a quick desat on this one. So hue saturation. Let's just pull the rest down. Maybe that'll do it. It won't be exactly the same as what I did before, but that was quite long-winded. So we just come down. I don't know, something like that. There we go. Now then, to get the effect that I was showing you before, click on the background layer. Command or Control J. That creates you a new layer. Now I want this, I think I have white, so I want this to be white, so with the background set to white, so again just hit D on the keyboard to make sure that's pure white. Do a Control Delete. That will fill this with the background layer. Yeah, you can see for some reason I've already got this bit big, so I'm messing around with the file I've already messed around with. So, but you want this one here to be bigger, so it fits around the outside. So with that selected, go to Edit. No, image, canvas size, set this to white. This is in centimeters, so I'm going to add about 3 centimeters all around, something like that, I guess. Hit return, and now I've got a 3 centimeter border. Now, if this looks like this, so it's all dotted, it means it's transparent. It just means your background layer is switched off, so that's fine. Now, what I'm going to do now with this layer here, I have a little flower layer selected. I'm going to grab what's called the marquee tool, and I'm simply just going to grab bits and pieces that I fancy doing. I'm going to do a Control X or Command X to delete it, and then going to do a Command or Control V to paste it. Now you'll see this is pasted it in some random place, but it's created a new layer. Now if you grab your tool here, then want to move it, move this back up to roughly the right sort of spot. That's going to be about right. You can use the arrow keys to do the fine positioning, not that it matters greatly in this case. Come back down to this layer here, and then grab the marquee tool again, and just do something else. Again, Control or Command X to delete it, and then a Command or Control V to paste it. And again, you've got layer after layer after layer. Now you can, with the layer selected, you can grab your moving tool and you can put that back to wherever you need it to be, and so on and so on. Now, I'm not going to go through all of this, every single crop like I did before, but what I'm going to show you here is if these little eyes here basically show you the visibility. So if I turn that one off, what I'm going to do now is go up to here, this top one, which you can see where the picture is, so I notice this one. And this is where I do that little drop shadow thing. Just come down to this option here, click on it, select drop shadow. I've got mine set how I had it before, so if you just take a while to just check out those settings there, just for the sake of argument, have a play around with the angle. You can move these around here, and you'll see the shadow moves. Put it back, whatever. Now the key thing here, because you want your shadow to be the same on every picture, on every little part of your picture you're going to do, just set that to make default. So next time you go in, all these settings will be as they are. Check the blend modes and all that sort of stuff, no opacity. So click OK. Now come to the layer below, and then simply do the same thing again. This time with your settings already saved, you'll get exactly the same thing, and you can move these around, but you want to move them roughly in the same place, and so on and so on and so on. And that's how you basically develop that thing. Now what I did to get the layer below is I basically went down to my background layer, I popped a new layer, I set this to the background layer to black, I filled it in again, and I just made it, this one's already bigger for some reason, but I made it bigger again, and then I think on this one above, I think I stuck something like an emboss or something, wherever that's gone, bevel and emboss. I put some, I don't know what size, I can't remember what sizes I put on it, but you can see here that puts a little bit of an emboss on it, and away you go. And then finally, if you like, come up to the top, I then selected the tool here for typing. I make sure that's, I think it was black, or that's my grey, something like that. I use Lucida handwriting in italic, and I just typed away and seemingly did something completely wrong there. Oh no, there it is. And you can just grab the tool here, move that around to where you like. If it's too bold for you, you can just, with that layer selected, just grab the opacity and just slide it on down until it becomes a little bit more subtle. I think that probably shows you just about what I did. Cheers.